Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Rodea the Sky Soldier playthrough. It's time for Chapter 2, A Piece of Heart.
Detecting machine soldiers near the industry.
Now, the way that Rodea is set up is that you have 5 worlds. Each world has 5 levels within it, 4 of which are these sort of full levels, which are really fun, linear but with a sense of kind of wide open space. And then the final level of that kind of batch is generally a boss level. And it's a nice setup. I would say that the cut-off points for the chapters aren't always in the best of locations. The reason I say that is some chapters don't seem to, well, they seem to end before it feels necessary. It's merely just a slight pacing issue, but it is one that is rather noticeable. Now, we're actually getting into, I think, our first instance of enemies in the game. Pretty much most of the enemies in the game aren't too much of a threat, at least in the Wii version anyway. These guys are just an absolute joke. But there are some enemies later on which will provide you with quite a bit of challenge, because while I would say that Rodea is for the most part a relatively easy game, I think the fact that the controls are very fluid and work effectively does make it reasonably friendly and accessible. There is a bit of that old 90s challenge about it, at least with some of the levels and bosses that you'll be facing. I mean, a prime example of that is the final boss, but we've only just started the game, so there's no use talking about the final boss right now. Now, I should point out that whenever you come to these bonus rooms, make sure that you are fully powered up. If you're not fully powered up, then you aren't going to be able to break those blocks, and you will have wasted your trip in there. Because as soon as you leave one of the bonus rooms, yeah, you're never getting back in until you replay the level. Thankfully, the legacy medals do save, so if you kind of replay through the level multiple times, you can kind of continue to pick them up. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it works anyway. The same is true of kind of your ranking, because you may have noticed that it's kind of impossible to manage to get everything in one fell swoop. It's like you're going to really struggle to get like an S rank, which is the highest rank on the Gravitons, while at the same time getting like an S rank on time. In fact, if you want to get S ranks on time, you are going to have to go ridiculously fast. You're basically going to have to speedrun these things. So, in a way, it's a very good reward system in that it actually does reward you for skill. Whereas there are those ranking systems out there that do just kind of reward you for mediocrity. Rodea ain't got time for that. You gotta be on it to get the high ranks in these games. In this game, there's no other game like this. Now, obviously, as you can see, we have a machine gun now. Rodea can pick up weapons. This is the extra kind of hit I was talking about. Basically, if you get hit, I think it's either once or twice while holding a weapon, then you'll kind of, I think once you'll cling on to it, but you'll go down in terms of power. Another time you will lose your weapon, and then I think, yeah, then eventually you will end up in your weakened state. Something along those lines. You'll see instances of it throughout the game, so it'll make more sense then. But generally, you want to stay powered up in, well, for as long as possible. You don't want to get hit, you just want to kind of succeed, shall we say. And really not getting hit is the best way of beating the game. It's just that that's quite a challenge, shall we say, especially considering some of the enemies that you're going to face. Now obviously there is a huge open area that you can see before us. You can explore all of that, at least I'm pretty sure you can, and there will be extras down there. And if you want to collect everything, you're gonna have to go down there and get it all. Unfortunately, I'm not doing that because, as I said, I'm not going to collect all of the legacy medals because it's a little bit too much faff, and there are certain bonus rooms and so on that I know are absolutely cheap, I think is probably the word I want to be using. I really don't like some of the bonus rooms in this game. They are mean. And if you die in a bonus room, then that counts as a death overall. You'll be thrown to the kind of most recent checkpoint that you hit, and you lose all your gravitons. So, good luck. But we've reached the tree that we've been heading towards. We could have explored that whole area, but what's the point? And, oh! We've got someone who looks rather like Rodea.
Who are you?
What are you talking about? How could you forget little old me?
Olmi? Yeah, let's just call him Olmi. That kind of makes sense, I think.
I don't understand.
Don't play dumb. My mission hasn't changed for the last 1,000 years. I will destroy you, R-Zero. You traitor!
Now, these boss fights are going to be a reasonably regular occurrence throughout the game. They're kind of pretty simple fights, basically kind of attack to get rid of the shield, then attack to kind of damage. Not that many hits to do. It's a bit of a challenge sometimes following like Olmi around, but
Not yet.
they're quite fun. And in a way, they are the rival battles for the game. And as I'm sure most people are aware, I really like rival battles, so I'm totally down with these.
Yes, I'm in the middle of a battle. Yes, of course. Let me call you back. Today's your lucky day. We'll continue this another time.
Are you running away, Omi?
My name is not Omi. I am Unit R1, Lord Orthos.
You won't get away.
Wait, wait! I hear a child crying. We have to find him.
I received no such orders to find a child.
Just forget your orders for now. There's someone who needs our help.
My primary orders are as follows. To save Garuda.
Gosh, you're so stubborn. Finding that boy will benefit Garuda. Got it?
Well, that was quite a hell of a lot easier than you probably would have expected.
Machine! Hey, Tonio!
Though,
Rodea.
that voice.
This is Rodea. He's a
I've heard worse, don't get me wrong.
Okay?
But,
Sure?
as you can probably expect, how should we put it?
Scrap metal.
The voice acting in this game, at least the English dub, is variable.
Yeah.
Like, I would say that whoever voices Rodea is pretty goddamn decent, and the lady behind Ion, which I believe is GK Bose, she's literally the only voice actor that we know of
Find them, but
in the game,
What?
because she, I think, included it on her CV, or her resume, really.
herbs that grow on the Mendes
Nobody else has admitted to being involved in Rodea, which is really sad, because it's not a horrendous dub.
See? Can you do that?
Like,
Negative.
I've heard
Yeah?
far worse
Rodea,
throughout my time gaming and watching anime and so on and so forth.
having a heart?
So
Heart. What is
it's pretty decent. I think most people would probably say that the Japanese dub's better,
With
but
a heart,
eh.
care for others. A heart is what's inside you, Rodea. See?
This is my heart.
Rodea?
I have a heart.
And so, we need to collect 5 medicinal herbs, because obviously that is what the little kid wants, and we are going to oblige him because we have a heart, because we are a good guy. Now, I remember kind of getting to this bit the first time round and thinking, well, what the hell do the medicinal herbs look like? Herbs. I am not American, I need to pronounce my H's. Or my H's, however you want to be picky about it. Now, that's what those webs do. Don't fly into them if you get the chance. Kind of make sure to kind of make use of your arcing. That's what it's there for. It's there to help you avoid these kind of embarrassing situations. And I did not notice that happened. If you fly into one of the spider webs, then you can end up losing the herbs that you've picked up. That explains so much. I remember getting rather confused at what had happened, but obviously
Mission.
I went into that and it kind of removed one. That's a really clever little thing. Wow.
Wow, Rodea!
Well done, Prope. Maybe a little bit of a mean touch, but... Oh, and also, Tonio, how much there are,
Now, we'll get more from you, okay?
how much there is, or how many there are.
Yeah.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Not how much there are.
Rodea's
Get it right, Tonio. But either way,
great, Tonio.
we've done good, and Tonio likes us now, so all is good with the world, I think. But that is Chapter 2 over and done with. Time to head onward to Chapter 3. Let's do this.